another weekend working on the shop car, so haven't updated much this week. Been really busy and just kind of knocking stuff out at night. I've been out here probably 3 nights this week, knocking out small stuff. I'm hopefully painting the cage tomorrow. That's kind of the goal. So everyone kind of saw we painted the outside of the car, but we didn't have time to finish all of the welding on the inside. So yeah, kind of left us with one choice is just I'm gonna have to tape up everything, all the doors and everything, basically, and then just spray the inside. So that way all the cage is painted, and I gotta paint up like back up in here. I like to paint all of this. So it's kind of a body color right now, but as you can see, we had to weld on it, so I had to grind paint off. So that's kind of the only choice we had. We wanted to get the outside done. So that's where we're at. So I'm kind of just working on some tin work. The only problem with painting the outside, we did not tape up the doors when we did this, so everything has kind of like a light coat of overspray on it, which in hindsight was a horrible choice because now we have to grind off everything. So as you can see, we ground where we needed to, and it just welds like, yeah, it's not fun. So not terrible. I mean, it's gonna get painted over again, but still sucks to make weird welds and nasty welds that are going through paint, or residue of paint. But this side, I got all this tin. The other side's welded. I do still have to put that one in there, but the trans has to come out for that one because I put it on so these are all on the outside, but this one has on the inside because the gas pedal is really close. So that one still needs to be put on the inside of the tunnel. But right now I'm working on these scallop strips, getting those set. Mark already made the top 2 panels, and I made the trans tunnel removable piece, which is over here. So we were able to make a pretty good model of it, and put some cool bends on it. Kind of trying some different stuff, see how much we could actually work this carbon to make how to make it bend like that. So I think I showed that last time, but that's kind of where I'm at. I got to put scalp strips on. I got kind of my short list here before tomorrow. Everything's got to come back out. All the carbon's got to come back out. Motor can stay because it's all getting, basically firewall back. I got to finish the brake line tabs, finish the tin, weld the scalp strips. The tin's done. Yeah, seatbelt tabs need done. I still have to add fire tabs for the fire system inside the car, and the window net tabs still need welded. Mark put them up there but didn't weld them. And seatbelt tabs for the other side for Mark's seat. But that's about it. There's not much. Brake line tabs, just 2 tabs on the back, so not a huge deal. Just a bunch of little stuff, which I should be able to wrap up today. So it's kind of where we're at. It's been a crazy past 2 or 3 weeks. As soon as it got cold, I guess people realized they needed to get on building a car, so we've been slammed. I think we're just finishing up a 25-2 welded chassis, and then that one was a 9-inch 4-link brackets, wishbone, and a roll bar shock mount tabs, and then we have 2 25-3 welded chassis with no back halves. So we got the floor structure done on one, but yeah, been a wild week. Been selling cage kits like crazy, so I'm gonna get started on this. Hopefully get this stuff knocked out, and then we can paint the car, or paint the inside of the car since we haven't done that yet, and then we can start final assembly. It can all go back in, so I'm really looking forward to that. It'll be nice to just start throwing stuff in it. It's really disheartening to put things in it and then take them back out, and then put it in it and take it back out. So like the fire bottles, put those in there for mock-up, and now they have to come back out. So I'm gonna get started on that. Past week, kind of been hammered down on the shop car to get the inside painted. Told you guys before, we only painted the outside, so we got to go back and paint the inside. So that's what I was working on yesterday. Got it taped off and then got it all painted yesterday. So the whole inside of the body, other than the doors, I still gotta take the glass out and paint the doors, but those can, you know, stay for right now. But all the rest of it's painted satin black. We just used some VHT roll bar and chassis paint. It's this stuff right here. It actually works really well without a primer. It holds up really well. It's pretty durable, so looks pretty good. But yeah, everything is painted and ready to assemble. So we're excited now that we can finally assemble things. It's kind of a big step. We've always been fabricating on this thing, so now it's, you know, hammer down and make a complete car. But yeah, that's basically what I'm doing today. I'm just starting to bolt things together, starting to put some of the carbon pieces in, and then we can start getting a car together. So I'm gonna be working on that, and that's probably as far as I'll get today. I was out here a decent amount yesterday, and painting a car like this really is not fun. So my shop car, how much I wanted to do today, is not gonna get done just because it's very time consuming, and I was ready to be inside yesterday. So it's just a car of this this size to paint is not fun. So I'm going to get started on that, get some parts in there, and hopefully have a car soon.
Last week we were trying to get quite a bit done because Matt was going to paint it this weekend, or I guess last weekend. Today's Monday. So we got everything done that needed to get done to weld it, or to paint the chassis. Car's already painted, we were just getting it ready to paint the chassis. So we got every last little thing we wanted to get done, as far as like filler panels and stuff like that. Anything that needed welded, seatbelt tabs on the passenger side, just little things like that, just all the punch list kind of things. So we got all that done. 8, 9 o'clock Thursday, for the most part. The only thing left was like seam sealing everything. So Matt did all that like Friday and stuff. So anyway, everything's painted. Chassis wise, it's hard to tell because everything's black now. Peeled the paper off some of the carbon, like off the tubs and stuff, so it's kind of hard to see everything, but it does look really good. I'm excited to see it all with hardware and everything because we're doing stainless hardware, so it's going to give it some contrast. We just got tubes taped up to keep from scratching it before we get the, like, we're going to do the carbon tube protectors. But I got a few things going back in so far. Brake pedal, gas pedal, we got those in. Hopefully for the last time. Probably not. Never goes like that, but you know, we're hopeful. So we use lock nuts. So, you know, fingers crossed. So chute mounts going back on. We're gonna put the wing and stuff back on because we got to do the Zeus's over here for the sides of the wing to keep those sucked to the body, because we've got it at the angle that we want it. So there's going to be a little bit of adjustment. So if we want to go up like a hole or two in the rods for the wing and those guys, then we will be able to, because there's a little bit of play in the Zeus's, and we're not gonna want to go up or down too much at all. So anyway, there's still a couple things to do up front. We got to move a fire nozzle tab because it's pointed directly at a wastegate, and there is like this much room in between the nozzle and the wastegate, so got to move that. It kind of sucks because everything's painted, but we found a paint in a spray can that's really close to this, so that'll be fine, because race car, it's not a show car, although it will look really good. But so anyway, I've been working on the carbon stuff. So I've been doing floor pans because we decided that we're going to change from tin floor pans to carbon, or carbon composite. I think it's 2 layers of fiberglass and a top layer of carbon, so it looks like carbon. It's not complete carbon, but it's still lighter than tin, so, and it's cheaper than 100% carbon, so that's what the plan is there. So the back of it is kind of like a fiberglass type of color. I don't know if I find a little piece here, but so the back of it just looks like this, and then all we do is we just paint it. You can see it's got some drips from the spray can, but no big deal. But we just paint it. So, you know, Insta Carbon. But like I said, still lighter than tin, so, and still like half the cost of 100% carbon. So with the cost of steel right now, the carbon composite is only $100 more per sheet than steel. So with labor to fit the steel and bead roll it and everything, it's honestly the same price or even cheaper to do the carbon composite right now. So might as well do that. We already had the tin fit and everything, but we just decided we wanted to save that extra little bit of weight and go with the carbon composite stuff. So that's what I've been working on. The passenger side is done. It's just drying right now. The paint is drying, so passenger side is done. I just finished the driver's side rear pan that's underneath the seat, because we went ahead and did this 090 plate on the underneath the driver's seat, because that is a 25-1 rule now, but it's probably going to trickle down to all, you know, all the lower stuff, because that's just how this stuff works. So we went ahead and did it that way. We don't ever have to worry about it. It's already there. It is what it is. You know, it's a little bit extra weight, but it's better than having to strip everything back off, strip the paint off, and weld it in later after the car's running. And it's just way easier to do it right now and just not worry about it. So, but to make the underside of the car smooth, we still did scallop strips, and we're still doing a carbon piece here, because it doesn't have to be steel because we've got the plate here. So this pan still has to be steel, so we've still got our tin panel for that, and then we're going to do a carbon upper piece, and then the bottom over there will be completely carbon underneath passenger side, front and back, and there won't be any top pieces on the passenger side. Like I said, I've gone through that before about how I don't need to worry about pedals or anything like that, and I would rather not have anything there so I can see where to step when I'm getting in the car. If there's a carbon piece there or something, I don't know where the tubes are underneath it, and there's a chance that I step in between tubes and crack the carbon, and there's no point in doing that, because it's a panel that, see, a good chunk of that is probably $80 chunk of carbon, and I don't need to not rest my feet on the tubes. or I don't need to not get my feet caught in the tubes like you will if you were driving the car. So, anyway, I'm going to, I think, finish the tunnel. So the top pieces, we decided we're going to do a carbon top on the tunnel. So our removable piece up here is carbon, and then the very top is carbon too. So we, I have the pieces cut. They're just, this back piece is fit. It's just none of the holes for the scallop strips are drilled, and then the same for that piece. So because these are two separate pieces, they're gonna stop right at this line, and I've actually got them fit to where hopefully the grain of the carbon is gonna line up between the two pieces. It's kind of tricky to do that, but I think I've got it where it's going to. We'll see. The pieces may shift when I drill the holes, so hopefully I can keep that from happening, but we'll see. But yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then I'm probably gonna head home for the night. It's like 7:30 or so, but Matt was out here for a couple hours. He just had to go in and take care of the family, so I'm just gonna finish up a couple little things that I want to, and then head home. But anyway, that's pretty much it for this Monday. It's October 11th, so definitely wasn't gonna make Rocky Mountain Race Week. We could have if we like just worked on this, but gotta work on customer stuff during the day, so is what it is. We'll be 100% ready for next year. Hopefully we can do a little bit of racing this year, but we'll see.
I'm just out here kind of putting the shop car together, actually taking it apart so we can put it back together. I gotta pull the motor out because we need to put the trans back in. I don't have all the bolts in the back cover, so I gotta pull the motor out, put the trans on, get the converter, fill the converter, put the converter on, and then once we put it back in will be the last time it'll go back together. But thought I'd give you guys a little bit of an update and show what we're doing today. We do have a little bit of an update. Yesterday we knocked out putting the seat in. You guys saw us put all the carbon in. It took us a little bit. I think there's like 250 screws, 200 screws, I believe. So came out pretty well. I got the shifter in there, seats mounted, seat belts. I do have to send the bottom seat belt mount, not the mount, the actual seat belt back. So this is kind of new for some people, but this is a 7-point harness. So you got your normal shoulder belts, you got your lap belts, which I don't know where this one's at, this one's hanging, and then this one over here for the right one. And then you have the normal crotch strap, But you also have these anti-submarine belts here that you sit on. So basically they wrap up and around like that, if that makes sense. It keeps you from sliding forward, so it keeps you more secure. It's really not that much more of cost for these, so I think it'll be something that we're going to start offering, or letting people know that, hey, this is the better option. So I do have to send it back, because where we have the tabs at on the back, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, it's super dark. Right back there in the inside is where we have the tab for the seat belt, the lap belt, and the 7-point straps bolt back to the lap belt. So I gotta get this one a little longer. It's just not long enough to come up and around. So I can send this back to Stroud, and they'll send a 1 foot longer strap, so that way we can make it reach. But Holly dash is in, shifter's in, I got the fire bottles in, puke tank is in, battery mounts in, chutes in, rear end housing is in also. So looks pretty good up underneath here. I got the train schooler up underneath there. I kind of had the door open just so you guys can see this, because now everything's painted black. It's kind of like a black hole under here. Housing's bolted up. So these are strange 9-inch big guns. Hopefully we can use all of that stroke, but yep, the inside is looking pretty good. So now that the carbon's in there, we can really start hammering we're basically just throwing parts at it at this point. But I gotta pull this motor out. Really not looking forward to it, but it's gotta come out. We gotta get a few things done. Actually taking this tank to get black anodized, and then we have to have this plate milled, because the head offset, I have it bolted up right now. It's pretty sturdy, but the offset on the head, I gotta get this milled for that. So gonna get that out, put the converter in, put it back in, and then take the front plate off, and then take it to get machined. But it's starting to come together. Hoping to get it wired. Tentative plans for wiring are the 25th. I'm taking it up there, and Ryan Hoffman at Jolt said it'd take him a week or two. So hopefully by first week of November we can start it. We got a little bit to do. We still got to do all the fuel lines, plumb it. Still a lot of parts to throw in it, but it's getting there. It's getting close, so I'm getting excited. But I'm gonna hop to it and get this motor out, and then maybe we'll go over putting the converter in and all that stuff. So take a look at the Hughes converter, but I'm gonna get to it. So now that I got the motor out, we can go ahead and put the remaining bolts in. So when I took this motor apart, I guess I lost all the bolts. So I've been piecing it together, but I bought some ARP hardware. So I'm gonna go ahead and put those in, and then we'll get the trans over here, sandwich the mid plate, and then we will get this thing back up in the car. What's going on, everyone? We're back out here. I kind of skipped a little bit yesterday. It wasn't too exciting. I said I was going to talk about the converter, but I just put fluid in it, put it back in here, trying to get things wrapped up so we can get it wired. So ran out of time filming stuff, but I got everything back in, motor's back in, the converter is back in. I guess we could crawl up underneath there. Still have a few things to wrap up, but converter's up in there, as you can see. Got the trans, the bolts are through the mount but not complete, but motor's back here. I'm gonna hook up the steering shaft, and kind of wrap up a few things on the trans, get the linkage set. I gotta move a couple of jack stands around because I need to finish bolting those 4-bolt flanges, but pretty well wrapped up under the car. So I'm gonna get the wing on. I think that's best what I'm gonna do. I might fit the fit this back. I'm gonna fit this to the wing, cut the hole in the deck lid. That way we can set the deck lid on. I still have to drill holes for these because we forgot to do that. But I think that's what I'm gonna work on today. Just kind of clean it up a little bit of things laying around. I'm really bad about putting stuff away when I'm in thrash mode, but yeah, I'm gonna get this start getting the car wrapped up. It's coming together.